Let's get right to it. You wake up, eat your cereal, and think, another day in the land of the free. But what if I told you the government you interact with isn't a republic, but more like a giant, messy corporation? Most people have never heard of the District of Columbia Organic Act of 1871. On the surface, it just created a municipal government for DC. Boring, right? But here's the twist. The act established a new federal entity, a corporation called United States with the power to make contracts, sue, and be sued, just like any business. Some argue this act quietly shifted the nation's legal foundation, creating a government of DC separate from the original republic. In practice, this means we may be governed by a corporate entity, not a government of the people. After the Civil War, this corporate U.S. made deals with international bankers to manage debt, turning governance into a business beholden to creditors. The original Constitution wasn't abolished, just sidelined. Like owning your house but signing a complicated lease with a new landlord. Every law, tax, and election? Suddenly, it's all filtered through the lens of America Inc. The government's role shifted from public servant to corporate manager. So, next time you pay taxes or vote, ask yourself, are you participating in a democracy or just another cog in a corporate machine? This changes how we see every aspect of our lives as citizens. Welcome to the real United States, where the boardroom matters more than the ballot box. Think your state is different? Think again. The corporate model didn't stop at DC. It spread to every state. Each state is now a franchise of USA Inc. Don't believe it? Look up your state on Dun & Bradstreet. You'll find it listed as a for-profit entity complete with a DUNS number. Your governor, the CEO, legislature, the board of directors, and you're an asset. Your birth certificate is your registration, your taxes are the revenue. The state tracks your income, property, and activities because you're a resource, not a customer. This explains why states cater to big corporations. Tax breaks, business deals, and bonds are all about profit, not public service. When states go into debt, they're leveraging your future productivity to secure loans. The system is designed for self-preservation and profit, not your welfare. You're not living in the land of the free. You're working the register at the ultimate franchise. The state's main concern is its bottom line, not your well-being. Every policy, every law is about maximizing value for the corporate state. So next time you see a ribbon cutting or a tax break for a big company, remember, it's just business. You're on the balance sheet. Welcome to the corporate state. Let's talk politics. The grand spectacle of Democrats versus Republicans. We're told it's a battle for the nation's soul, but is it really a choice or just Coke versus Pepsi? Both parties are brands with logos, slogans, and targeted marketing. They spend billions convincing you their flavor is better. But who owns the brands? Corporate donors, Wall Street, and powerful lobbies fund both sides. It's a smart investment. No matter who wins, they get what they want. Check the donor lists. Big banks, pharma, and tech giants back both parties. That's why the core system never changes. Military budgets grow, Wall Street gets bailed out, and big corporations always win. The public gets a dramatic show, but the real business happens behind closed doors. Elections are theater. The ending is already written. The issues that matter most, money, power, influence, are never truly up for debate. We're sold the illusion of choice, but the menu never changes. The real winners are always the sponsors. So, are you voting for change, or just picking your favorite brand? Welcome to the greatest show on earth. If the system's so broken, why can't we change it? Because it's designed to be unbreakable. Elections are rigged from the start. Gerrymandering ensures the same people stay in power. Your vote often feels like a suggestion, not a decision. Money rules politics. To run for office, you need cash from the very interests that benefit from the status quo. Once elected, politicians spend more time fundraising than governing, locked in a cycle of dependency. Even reformers face a media landscape owned by the same corporations that control politics. The media decides who's serious and who's unelectable, shaping the narrative to protect the system. Real change is blocked at every turn by money, by media, by design. The fortress of power is built to keep you out. The illusion of democracy is maintained, but the outcome is always the same. Trying to change the system is like punching a ghost made of money, and the ghost always wins. If government is a corporation, why isn't this common knowledge? Because schools and media keep it hidden. In school, we learn a sanitized version of civics. 3 branches, founding fathers, but never the corporate structure. The Act of 1871, not in the textbook. State corporate registrations, not on the quiz. We're taught the ideal, not the reality. The media, owned by a handful of corporations, isn't about to expose the system that serves them. Their job is to sell ads and maintain access, not inform you about power. The result? A population focused on surface-level drama, missing the real story. The media creates a fog of noise, distracting you from the bigger picture. They don't have to lie. Just make sure the right questions are never asked. The illusion is maintained by what's left unsaid. How do you keep people from uniting against a rigged system? Misdirection. The flashy distraction is identity politics and culture wars. Divide the public into smaller groups and pit them against each other. Urban versus rural, left versus right, vaccinated versus unvaccinated. The media amplifies the most extreme voices, fueling endless outrage. We're told our problems are caused by our neighbors, not the system. While we argue over bathrooms and books, the real power players cash in. Culture wars are the perfect distraction. Emotionally charged, easy to engage, and endlessly divisive. A united public is a threat. A divided one is manageable. As long as we're fighting each other, the real decisions are made in boardrooms we'll never see. The house burns while we argue over the furniture. Feeling bleak? Don't. The system's power depends on our belief in it. The moment we stop playing our assigned roles, we can start dismantling the illusion. Real power comes from education. Do the homework they never assigned. Research the Act of 1871, your state's corporate status, and political donor lists. Follow the money. Understand the machine before you try to fix it. Share what you learn. Talk to friends, family, co-workers. Plant seeds of curiosity. Most people aren't your enemy. They're just distracted by different illusions. The goal isn't to win arguments, but to expose the strings being pulled. The more people see the Coke versus Pepsi dynamic, the less power those brands have. The more who see culture wars as a distraction, the less effective they become. We must become the media the corporate media refuses to be. The hardest part? Uniting across artificial divides. Find common ground. Everyone wants clean water, a decent future, and fair treatment. Focus on the root cause, a system that serves the few at the expense of the many. By uniting, we can demand real reform. Not just new brand names, but a new model. It's a long road, but it starts with seeing the truth. You don't live in a country, you live in a corporation, and it's time for a hostile takeover. The power is yours, if you choose to use it.